Hello and welcome back to the channel, and we're here again with another new type of video, but again it is going to be a series that is going forward on this channel, and we're going to be looking today at the current new build that is happening in the Epic Universe Park of Universal Orlando. And this is the new park that is being created and set to be open in 2025, and I'm really looking forward to breaking down all of the new builds we got to the Wizarding World section as time goes on. Now, all of the photos I will be using in this video were provided to me by somebody called Bio Reconstruct on Twitter. They take absolutely incredible photos from Orlando. They do a lot of aerial photographs and they do some obviously ground length photographs as well, but their photography is absolutely incredible, and they show a lot of detail of the upcoming parks and renovations that are happening to all of the parks over Universal, and also just some incredible shots of the open areas of the parks that are currently available for people to go to now. If you are interested in anything like that at all, please go and check them out. If you like any of the pictures that you see in this video and are interested to see more and more as time goes on, go and give them a follow on Twitter. And don't forget to leave a comment on any of their pictures and let them know that you were sent over by me. Now, as time goes on and more of the scaffolding comes down, we will see if we can spot any secrets in the area about things that potentially will happen in that area or shops that will potentially be there. But at this time, a lot of it is covered by scaffolding, so we'll be covering the general layout of the park and also what we know about the rides and the features that are in it at this time. So as you can see in this photo here, this is the entrance to the Wizarding World section, and this looks like it is going to have the Port Saint Denis arch in it. This is a monument in the center of Paris. It's a very well-known monument. This is going to be the main entrance into the park, and I believe we're going to be funneled underneath the archway to get into the French area. Now, as you can see from this sky view shot here, you enter underneath the archway into these French streets, and these are the streets that you can see in the Fantastic Beasts movie here. This is the one where Johnny Depp was starting to recruit his following. This whole area here is going to be based around the French section. So initially this has changed, and the section up here that is now currently blank was going to be the Ministry of Magic section, and the rest of the park was going to be French. However, this has now changed because of the decline in the interest of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and this section here is going to be left open to have some future expansions at a later date. With the new TV series coming out, they could potentially delve deeper into some other stories and build from what we get in the new series. So in this photo here, I have broken down the areas that will be the Fantastic Beasts Paris section and the Ministry of Magic section. And one thing for me is how they're going to transition between this, because obviously Paris is nowhere near the Ministry of Magic, and it would lose some of the magic if it just a complete cut and you just go from Paris to London and you're suddenly in the Ministry of Magic. So I think there would be some way they would need to do this, and I will get to this later on in the video about how I think they can go about this, because there is a very interesting feature very near to the Ministry of Magic which could actually help the transition very, very well. So let's break down the buildings and the features that we know currently so far. So as I said, this is a dark ride, Ministry of Magic ride. We do not know exactly what it's going to be based around. I think if it's going to be some sort of dark ride, potentially it could be based around the lift system, because it was always a funny system that they used in the films and the books, where the lifts went in all different directions. So potentially you could sit in a lift and you could travel all around the Ministry of Magic, even down into the courtrooms and potentially down into the Department of Mysteries, and see where the Unspeakables work, and potentially have a look around some of the rooms that we didn't get to see in the movies. That's just my personal description at the moment. We do not know too much about the dark ride itself. We have seen some plans of how the building itself might work, and we believe that this is going to be the main ride area here, and the queuing section is going to be in the main atrium of the Wizarding World. And this is where you see the fountain and where the battle between Voldemort and Dumbledore happens in the Order of the Phoenix. So this is going to be the main area here. And then this entrance area, the first part that you walk into of the Ministry of Magic, is going to be the Floo network. And this is going to be like the main corridor with all of the fireplaces to the right and the left. So from this angle here, just above the area of the Ministry of Magic ride, you can see this area that I've highlighted here, and this is going to be a theatre within the French Fantastic Beasts section, and this is going to be the Circus de Magique, and this is the circus that Credence had joined when he meets Nagini. This would be really interesting to see. I would imagine there's going to be lots of special effects that you can see in this, very similar to what we see in the Cursed Child play. Lots of magical effects and lots of magical creatures that we potentially will see. It is going to be quite a large theatre and sit quite a lot of people, so there will probably be full performances throughout the whole day. Obviously, if they decide to change the franchise later on, this theatre could be adapted to many different things. We then have two known own retail locations, which I've highlighted for you here. Obviously, this is going to be in the French section of the park. Again, I would imagine these are probably going to be including certain shops such as wand makers, so you can buy different wands from the park. There would also probably going to be some sort of shops that sell merchandise, Quidditch robes, and different types of other Fantastic Beasts franchise merchandise. Another thing that has been confirmed is a large dining area. There is also a small dining area in one of these retails, which I would imagine will probably be like a smaller shop, like an ice cream shop like they've got in the Diagon Alley section. This is a main dining section. Be interesting to see what food they do. If it is in the French location, then hopefully they will incorporate some sort of French food within it as well, because they do incorporate some nice English meals within the Wizarding World sections at the other parks. And finally, we have the toilet locations, and that is one near to the entrance of the park, and then one to the far side near to the Ministry of Magic Dark Ride. And this is the one that I want to specifically highlight your attention to. Now, as I said earlier, the different sections of the Wizarding World ride. You have the main ride area, then the atrium, and then you have the Floo network. But it would be very jarring if you just come straight into the Ministry of Magic from Paris. However, with these toilets being located right next to the Floo entrance, and there is also what appears to be some sort of connecting building or wall, potentially they can use these bathrooms as a way of getting into the Ministry of Magic, as they do in the books and the film. Now, when Harry, Ron, and Hermione break into the Ministry of Magic in the Deathly Hallows, they have to use the main entrance, and the main entrance is via a toilet, a public toilet in the middle of London, where they flush themselves into the Floo network and make their way into the Ministry of Magic that way. Now, if they have toilets on either side that will be usable toilets, but you have a main walkway that goes through the toilet section and have some sort of magical effect where there's toilets that you have to step over or walk through, then potentially you could have a nice link from the Paris section all the way through into the Ministry of Magic from this specific location in the parks. I think that'd be a really nice way of transitioning from Paris into the Ministry of Magic. I know it will still be slightly jarring being from Paris to London, but it is a nice transition and a nice way of doing that, and I think it will be a really interesting concept if they did try to do that. I am obviously completely speculating, there's no evidence to show this at the moment, but I just think the location of it and this wall that you can see with a potential building coming down the side is a very good example that this may be a way of getting people into the Ministry of Magic. So there you have it, that is everything we know about the land details of the new Wizarding World section coming to the Epic Universe Park. Let me know what you're most excited for. Are you looking forward to a new Wizarding World ride? Are you looking forward to experiencing the streets of Paris with the full immersion that we get from the other parks? As I said, we will be covering this expansion going forward, and we will be seeing exactly what we can find when more high definition photos and some of the scaffolding comes down and we start to see potential shop names or secret locations that we might see around this section of the park. And we will break it down fully on this channel. If you're interested in that or anything other Wizarding World, then you are in the right place. We cover everything Wizarding World on this channel. That'd be the movies, the books, theories, reviews, and also trailer breakdowns. If that is something you're interested in, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give that like button a press, and also don't forget to leave me a comment, because I do reply to everyone in the comments down below. As always, I want to say a massive thank you to the members of the channel. The changes coming up for you are very, very close. I'm in the process of making them and learning how to implement them, but they are very exciting and very close, and you will see them come into play when the live streams start on the channel again in the next coming weeks. On the channel, we will be live streaming my first experiences of Magic Awakened, so I'm really looking forward to starting to play that game and covering that on the channel as well. It seems very in-depth, and I'm actually very excited to play it, because I've not actually really touched the game in any way whatsoever, so I'm hoping that some of you will come in and help me out when I do that. And also, we have videos coming up about Hogwarts Legacy and continuing the other recent videos on the channel where we've covered information about the upcoming games and also upcoming movies. But that's it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. But until then, mischief managed.